Hi, welcome to I2C session. In this session, we are going to discuss the fundamental of I2C, the message format, and the interfacing of I2C with the AVR microcontroller. Let's see the fundamental of I2C protocol. I2C protocol works under master-slave mode. In I2C, the devices connected with this bus of I2C is configured as master and slave. The I2C protocol allows us to configure one or two device which is connected in the bus as master, and we can also configure multiple device as slave. So before going into that details, we will see what is master node. So master node or master device is one which generate the clock pulses and initiate the communication. The slave node or slave device is one which is receiving the generated clock pulse and responding whenever it is addressed. So in order to address individual node in the bus system, the I2C protocol uses 8-bit addressing scheme. We can see one example connection in this diagram. Here, one microcontroller is configured as master device and three devices are connected as slave device. Here, ADC is configured as one slave and DAC is configured as another slave, and one more microcontroller is configured as another slave, right? So these slave and master devices are connected in the I2C bus, which consists of two lines of communication, which is called as SDA and SCL. So SDA is used to carry the data from one device to another device, and the SCL is used to carry the clock pulses or synchronizing the data communication. Since these two lines are open-ended, the pull-up registers are connected between VCC and the two lines. This protocol, I2 protocol, is synchronous protocol and it supports multi-master, multi-slave. It works on packet switched mode, and it is mainly used for connecting low power peripheral ICs like ADC, DAC to the microcontrollers. It is mainly designed for a short distance communication, probably within a PCB board. This is the fundamental of I2C. Let us discuss the message format of I2C. When the devices are initiating the communication, a standard message format is used between them, which is given in the diagram. The first element in the message format is start condition. So start condition is used to indicate other devices there is a start of communication from a transmitting device. This start condition is implemented by inserting a high to low transition in the SDA line and keeping SCL is high. So that is done here. You can see that in the SDA line a high to low transition is happening. At the same time the SCL line is kept as high. So this condition is establishing the start condition in the bus. So recognizing this signal, all devices which is connected in the bus is coming to know that there is some data communication going to be start. After the start condition, the address for which the communication is intended is given in a 7-bit or 10-bit. So this address will be recognized by the device and it will be going to be respond to the master device. Then followed by this address, one control field called read write bit is used to indicate whether the master device is interested to write operation or read operation. If the master device is interested to write operation, which is indicated by logic 0 in this field, and if it is interested to read operation, which is indicated by logic 1 in this field. After getting these informations, the addressed slave device has to respond with an acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement. The slave devices which is addressed will respond the acknowledgement by an active low for acknowledgement case, by an active high for negative acknowledgement case. By listening this acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement, the master device can initiate the data transmission. Suppose the acknowledgement is received, immediately the master device will start to communicate the 8-bit data. It will communicate 8 bit at a time, and it will expect an acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement from the slave device for every 8-bit data transmission. One more thing you have to note here, the address data and the user data are communicated MSB first configuration. That means the data will be communicated sending MSB bit first. After successfully communicating all the data, the master device will initiate the stop condition in the bus. This stop condition is used to indicate the master device finished all the communication to the slave devices. The stop condition is implemented by making a low to high transition on SDL line while keeping the SCL line is high. So that condition is simulated here. You can see that a low to high transition is happening. At the same time, the SCL line is kept as high. So this is how the stop condition is established in the bus. So this is the fundamental of message format. We'll go to the interfacing concept of I2C peripheral. Here we are taking the RTC module, which is having I2C interface to communicate with the microcontroller. So the RTC model I2C communication lines are connected with the I2C communication line of AVR microcontroller. You can see these two lines, SCL and SDA line of RTC module. This is the RTC module is connected to the I2C line of your AVR microcontroller. As already we discussed, the X1 pin and X2 pins are connected to crystal oscillator of frequency 32.768 kHz in order to provide a stable clock source. The battery is connected in between VBAT and ground terminal in order to provide battery backup to the RTC module. The RTC module is powered by using a 5 volts power supply which is connected in the VCC pin of the RTC module, and the power supply is also connected through pull-up resistor to the SCL and SDL lines because it's open-ended terminals. So this is the interface connection arrangement of RTC module using I2C protocol with the AVR microcontroller. In next session, we will discuss how to make C program to make the communication between these two modules and get the real-time information from RTC module from the AVR microcontroller. Thank you for watching.